Hey everybody, and on today's vlog, we are going to be playing Zoo Tiles Hime by Zoo Studios. Let's get to it! Hey sir, how's it going?
I'm well.
So what are we playing today?
Today we are playing Zoo Tiles Hime, which is a strategic tile game from Zoo Studios. They sent us this copy for the channel. Thank you very much. This is a 2-player starter set. And as far as I can tell, there are two-player starter sets. And this one comes with a pig, bunny, ram team and a dog, horse, and tiger team. So I'm the dog, horse, and tiger, and Nick is the pig, bunny, and ram. There are 2 other sort of like sets that are not contained in this box, but all of the animals are from the Chinese zodiac calendar. So it's sort of like a tile placement and battle game where we are going to, our team of animals is going to be placed out onto the field, and we're going to attempt to place them in such a way that we're able to collect points. So the way that the game is set up is that we take all of the tiles that comprise our team and we lay them out in 5 piles in front of us of equal distribution. And then from those 5 piles, we take from any piles that we want to 5 tiles to start with. We need some space in between the 2 players so we can sort of lay out our tiles here. And what's going to happen is on a player's turn, you can do any or all of the following actions up to 1 time on your turn. So one of the things that you can do is you can play tiles from your hand, right? And there are a couple different types of tiles. There are the creatures. Like I said, each of us have creatures that comprise our sort of team. This one is a horse. And this one is compatible with these ones that are sort of like lit up along the sides, right? So the horse is compatible with the ram, the dog, the tiger, and the dragon. It also has a strength and intelligence value at the bottom. And when I play a creature, I'm going to play it into the field facing me, and if there are other tiles already in the field, orthogonally adjacent to another tile that's already in the field. Now, what I'm attempting to do here is make a block of 4 tiles that are orthogonally adjacent to each other. So that's up, down, left, and right. So for example, let's just pretend for a second that all 4 of these are the types of tiles that I need. They're not quite, but let's just pretend. So this right here would be a block of 4, right? But it may not develop like that. Maybe Nick plays a tile that puts this over here, and then maybe for whatever reason I play another tile over here. Right? So we're playing these tiles to the board here. And what we're trying to do is we are trying to make groupings of creatures that are compatible with each other. So here I have a dog, I have a tiger, and I have a horse. Well, if you notice, the horse is compatible with the tiger and the dog. The tiger, however, is only compatible though with the horse, the dog, and the pig. And the dog is compatible with the horse, the rat, the tiger, and the bunny. So if I could put these out in such a way that only tiles that were compatible with each other or orthogonally adjacent. For example, the horse is compatible with the tiger, right? And the tiger is compatible with the horse. So if these 2 were next to each other, I would be halfway to my block that I would need. Then maybe I put this here on a future turn. The horse is compatible with the dog, and the dog is compatible with the horse. So now I have 3 of the 4 tiles. If I could just get 1 more creature here that's compatible with the tiger and the dog, Whoever does that is going to finish this set of 4 tiles here, and they are going to get to score all 4 of those tiles, which means they're just going to remove all 4 tiles from the play area and they're going to put them in their points pile. The game ends when a player has accumulated 12 points. So there are the basic creatures that work just as I've explained. There are also action and reaction tiles. So those have action and reaction symbols on them. And the way that these can be played is on your turn, you can start an action stack. So an action stack is going to be played off to the side, and it's going to start with an action. Then it's going to go over to your opponent who has a chance to play a reaction tile if they choose to. And then it will continue where players can play reaction tiles on top of this. When players have ceased to add more tiles to the action stack will resolve from top to bottom. So whatever's on top will happen first, if possible, and so on. And what you're trying to do here is sort of stack this in such a way that maybe you negate another player's action, or by the time their action would be resolved, the game state has changed so that it cannot be resolved, or that kind of thing. But there's a bit of programming involved in this because of the action stack mechanism that happens. So on your turn, you can play up to 1 of your creatures. You can start 1 or 2 action stacks. You can start a battle, which I will circle back to in a minute, or you can discard any 2 of your tiles to draw another tile.
And that's your entire turn, right?
That's your entire turn. You can do any and all of those things if you want, or you could just do one of those things, or you could just end your turn without doing anything. Whatever happens, at the end of your turn, you're going to draw a tile, and that's the end of your turn. If you decided not to take any actions that turn, you get to draw an additional tile. So if you don't do anything, you get to draw 2 tiles. If you do something on your turn, you only get to draw 1. Let's talk about the battling. So, like I said, all of the creatures have a strength and intelligence value on them. What's going to happen is as we play tiles to the board here, more and more tiles will start to appear. And some of them may not necessarily be compatible creatures, right? For example, I have this dog here. If Nick played a pig here, 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 or here, the pig and the dog are not compatible. So they would not help us to form that sort of set of tiles we would need to score. But they can battle each other, and this is true even if they would be compatible. Now, you can't battle your own creatures, right? Why would you want to? But even if Nick played a bunny, which is compatible with the dog here, he could choose to use that bunny to battle with me. Now, when we have a battle, a couple of things are going to happen. The first is that if you control a tile, and then you have control over an adjacent tile. Let's say I had this situation going on here. Now I have a dog and a horse. If one of us initiates a battle, I can use one of these to be sort of my main battling component, right? And the other is going to be my ally. So if I establish my dog as my primary fighter, then my dog's strength and intelligence are going to be the stats that I use. However, because I also had the horse as an ally, he's going to give me a bit of a boost as well. No matter how many friendly tiles you have grouped together, though, you can only establish 1 ally. The fight is going to resolve in the favor of whichever player has a higher combined value of strength and intelligence of their primary fighter and their ally. So if my strength value is higher than my opponent's, and if my intelligence value is also higher than my opponent's, then I win the battle. If there's a tie, or if it's split where like I'm stronger than you but not as intelligent as you, then the battle does not resolve in anyone's favor. But if the battle resolves in my favor, then I can capture the target that I had engaged in battle. Targeted and captured tiles are also worth a point, and they go to your point stack. So we go through the game, each of us taking a turn and carrying out any actions we'd like to carry out, drawing tiles, that kind of thing, until one player has accumulated 12 or more points in their points pile, and at that point that player wins the game. There are different types of tiles that we could see in the game. Most of them are going to be these creatures, but there's also, like I showed you earlier, there's also the action and reaction tiles. There are objects which can be used to, they're kind of played into the field, and then they have purposes which can help us with maybe boosting our fighting values or protecting us during a fight, or sort of acting as like a wild card or that kind of thing. There's all different kinds of objects that we can use in the game as well. And I think that is all of the different types of cards. Oh, also there are obstacles. So objects and obstacles can both be played into the field, and obstacles would sort of prevent another player from being able to play in a particular location. So that is the basics of everything in Untitled Hime. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started, and we'll come back when we're at about the halfway point of the game.
Yeah. All right. So we'll see you guys in a second here while we get started on Untitled Hime. All right. Toodles. Hey, Sarah. How's it going?
Hi.
How's Untitled Hime been doing for you?
Well, I have 7 points. Nick has 8.
Mm-hmm.
He has caged one of my tigers and blown up with a meteor one of my other creatures. I am not a very pleased person at this point.
But you gotta do what you gotta do. I'm sorry, it wasn't really me. The stuffed animals wanted this to happen, because if you go ahead and take this off, look at it! Look at the carnage!
It is a cute game. Sometimes I get a little bit nervous with like the anime style of art, because I feel like you never really know if there are going to be like unpleasant surprises, whether it's like gratuitous violence or gratuitous sexual like imagery or that kind of thing. I feel like with anime, more often than other genres, that sort of thing just like pops out every once in a while and like sort of surprises you. Or it does me anyway. And I was very pleased that that did not happen in this game. And we only have one of the starter sets, but I am highly prone to thinking that like this is the general representation of the entire game. So I'm happy that it's not gratuitously like overly violent or overly sexual or things like that, like anime can tend to be sometimes.
Yeah, because I was a little nervous when I saw this, and I was like, oh yeah, totally, this looks cool. And then I saw the artwork, and I was like, oh my gosh, wait, let me go through all this artwork and make sure it's not anything crazy. And it wasn't.
It's actually really cute, and it's a very interesting 2-player tile placement game. It almost simulates the feel of like a direct head-to-head battle card game, like maybe like Magic the Gathering or something like that. It almost feels like that, but with these tiles, and the gameplay itself is pretty unique and interesting, because you're creating these sort of grids with your tiles, but the cards or the tiles that you play can affect things that are adjacent to them. They can help you score, they can help you keep your opponent from scoring, like this stupid cage that Nick put on my tiger. If he wouldn't have put that there, I probably would have been able to score a block, but he caged my tiger, so essentially my tiger is just like not even in the game right now because he's trapped in a cage. And then like another time I was getting close to having something nice happen over here, and he sent a meteor strike to like kill one of my creatures. And the cool thing about it is that whenever people play any actions in this game, you almost always have a chance to react. But if you don't have the tiles that you need in hand to be able to like appropriately react, then they're going to go ahead and be able to pull off what it is they're trying to pull off.
There's a good depth of strategy in this game. It's like a good level because you can take turns where you say, okay, well, I'm not going to do anything and draw 2 tiles. So you can kind of refresh
Which is probably what I'm going to end up doing on my next turn.
Or you can refresh your hand or just make sure, hey, this is coming along, but I want to make sure, if they play something or try to do something, then I can kind of have a say in the matter and be like, well, no, or, well, I gotta just sit there and watch this happen. But yeah, so we're going to continue playing, and we're close to being done. Again, I have 8 points. Sarah has 7, and you only need 12 to win. Once 12 is met, then the game ends. And so it shouldn't be that much longer with the game. But I'm excited to see who wins and who is the winner-loser. And again, this is just a really cute game. Really enjoying the artwork. And so yeah, we'll talk to you guys in a sec. All right, toodles. Hello, Sarah.
Hello, Nick.
So how did you do in Zoo Tiles Hime?
I win.
Yes, you win. Say you're not gonna win as in you win.
Well, yeah. So when we took our midpoint break, I had 7 points and Nick had 8. And we ended the game with, I had 15 points. So I had 11. You need 12 to win. And I was able to complete a block of 4 tiles and collect all 4 tiles. So I went from 11 to 15, surpassing the end game condition and winning the game. So yeah, that's that.
So what did you think of the game?
I think it's really cute. I like the artwork and the general sort of idea behind the game. It's the Chinese zodiac, so the 12 different animals, and I like the fact that like the different, and I don't know anything about the Chinese zodiac, so I don't know if this is deeper than even I realize or not, but like the different animals interact with each other in different ways. Like, for example, dogs are friendly with horses, rats, tigers, and rabbits. So when I'm making my groupings here, if I can get these animals together in any combination where there are 4 pieces of these animals touching. So for example, if like I had a rat here, and then if the rat was friendly with dogs, if there was like another dog down here, and then if this dog, if there was like a rabbit right here, right? So this one is friendly with this one is friendly with this one is friendly with this one, and this one is friendly with this one. That's how you sort of capture the whole group. And that's one of the primary ways to score points. You can also battle directly and score some points that way, but the quickest, most direct way to score points is by creating these sort of like friendly groupings of animals. And I thought that was really neat. There's a puzzly aspect to it because each animal interacts with a specific set of animals, right? So like every dog is friendly with every horse, every rat, every tiger, and every bunny, but not every but then like, okay, well, dogs are not friendly with other dogs. So if I put another dog here, I'm not going to be able to make that stack of 4 that's going to let me pick up all those tiles and win the game. And that lends itself to some strategies, not just in the placement so that you can collect the sets of tiles, but also that you can stop your opponent from being able to collect the sets, right? So like if Nick had a rabbit here and the rabbits are friendly with dogs, pigs, and rams. So if Nick had a rabbit here and then there was like a let's say there was a pig right here, right? Because the pigs and rabbits are friendly. So if there was a rabbit here and a pig here, if I could place something here that would be friendly with both a dog and a pig, then I would be able to score this. But if I can't do that, and I'm afraid that Nick would be able to, because you can only play one of these animal tiles on your turn. So if I couldn't complete the set of 4, but I thought that maybe Nick could, then I could play an animal that wasn't necessarily friendly with either the dog or the pig, but I could still play it there, and I would essentially complete the set of 4 tiles, but not with friendly animals all adjoined. So that means that I wouldn't get the set, but I would also not leave the opening so that Nick could potentially get the set either. And then some stuff comes into play with some of like the items and the action and reaction cards on moving things around, right? So like if I did that, if I put that in a situation where like there was this unfriendly creature that was next to these other ones and it was basically like blocking that set, well, maybe then later I could move that piece away and then put another one of mine there, right? Or I could like put a placeholder down somewhere so that nobody could put anything there except me, or that kind of thing. So there's some really fun interactions between the tiles so that you can sort of manipulate the game state, hopefully to your advantage, or put yourself in a position where you might be able to manipulate it to your advantage in the future while denying your opponent that ability. So I think that there's this is not like the most strategic game ever, but it is a fairly strategic game, and I think that the implementation of the strategies and even the theme is really, really well done in the components, which are nice. The only thing that I'm not super thrilled with is the box is very, very small. It is exactly the right size for everything to fit in the box. There is absolutely no room at all in here for anything else. And they did send us some sleeves to put these tiles in. Now, I was talking to Nick about this earlier. I don't know that I would want to sleeve a cardboard tile like this, especially not in this game where you're actually like putting the tiles like, you know, adjacent to one another and having these adjacencies and stuff like that. I feel like sleeves would probably be prohibitive to doing that smoothly. But if I did want to sleeve them, they sent us sleeves specifically for this game. So like they have licensed sleeves for this game. But if we sleeved these, they would not fit in this box anymore. Also, this is a starter set of tiles. So it is half of the Zodiac. There's 2 sets of tiles in here with 3 animals on each set. So there's another starter set, I assume. And if you ever were to get 2, as far as I know, like you're gonna be carrying around 2 boxes for one game. So I think that the box is a little small, but on the flip side of that, it's nice to not open a box where 80% of it is air. Sometimes that happens in the hobby, and that can be equally or even more frustrating to see like that they've wasted so much space and resources, and sometimes that you were charged a price that's related to a box this big when you got a game that was this big. So so that's kind of a double-edged sword, the fact that the box is not super big. Anyway, what do you think, Nick?
I agree that the color or the artwork is very cute, but also there's that depth of strategy, which is very nice. So don't just take the cuteness and be like, oh, it's a cute game. Yeah. It's nothing heavy, but no, it is. It's got an oomph to it. And it's really nice that, like Sarah was mentioning, the artwork suggests, there could be that gratuitous violence or that, heavy sexual artwork. And it was just like, it was nice to not have that. It was like a whew. And it's nice to be able to recommend this game, because if you play games with anything like that, it's kind of like you don't want to always have to defend the game saying, oh, but it's a great game, but you're seeing things that you don't appreciate in the game.
And this is our perspective, right?
Yeah.
If you do enjoy things like that, like, okay, that's fine. But from our perspective, it was just nice not to be surprised by anything that we weren't anticipating.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of depth to this game. Again, this is only the first starter set. So there's another starter set out there with the other half of the Zodiac, and it would be interesting to see how those specific characters interact with each other and interact with everything that we've played with so far.
And as far as I can tell, this is only a 2-player game. So we have 2 starter sets. If we had the other 2 starter sets, we would have double the number of tiles, right? And you could sort of mix and match. Like right now, I'm playing with the tigers, dogs, and horses, and Nick is playing with the rams, pigs, and rabbits. So if we had the other starter set, then like maybe I could play with the set that I just played with in this game, and Nick could play with a totally different set we've never seen before.
Yeah, and vice versa for Sarah. I could play with the same set I had, and we could always be changing something. So the replayability for the game would definitely increase.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, we definitely would recommend you all check this out if you are into the puzzly tile laying games and
or
this
if you
kind
like
of artwork.
Sort of head-to-head combat style games too. This one is definitely
and you don't want
really
to spend
good for that.
buttloads of money on a collectible card game or something that constantly is like eating at your money. So yeah, we hope you all enjoyed this vlog of Zootile Hime by Zoo Studios. We appreciate them again for sending us this copy, and we will talk to you guys next time. Toodles!